Today we are being joined by for an event exclusively for OAC creators. But yeah, I've just found this week really overwhelming. I still don't feel 100%, and I know it's because I haven't taken time to recover and recoup, and people don't share this side of stuff, do they? But I haven't looked after myself the last week. It's gonna hopefully level us up massively in the terms of the content that we put out there, because so many amazing things happen at OAC that you guys don't get to see. So this is me saying, throw the doors open, access all areas, see exactly what happens behind the scenes. I was selected for the Hero 100 list. That is split down into two halves for affiliates and creators, and I am in the top 50 who are making a positive impact on the creator economy and recognised for their achievements, which is, like, it blows my mind, and I'm so grateful. Good morning. It is a London day for us today. I am heading in and out in the same day, which I don't do very often anymore, because quite honestly I find London exhausting, and it gets to the point where I need to come home and I'm like, I really should have booked into a hotel, but needs must today. We're organising one of our masterminds, which is something that we try and do as often as we possibly can, which is an opportunity to bring a guest speaker in to speak to the OAC roster. Past events, retreats, masterminds, we've had growth coaches, we've had financial advisors, we've had TikTok agencies, we've had life coaches, all sorts of different things. Today we are being joined by B&Q for an event exclusively for OAC creators. And whilst I'm not going to be able to share much with you from what goes on behind the scenes, because there's a reason that it's exclusive to our roster, it is an opportunity for the B&Q team to get to know our creators better, for them to get to know the B&Q team as well. They're going to be going through with us specifically what they look for in collaborations, how we can pitch in our ideas more effectively to them, and what campaigns they've got coming up over the next couple of months, followed by a little bit of a workshop where our creators will be able to pull their ideas together based on the campaigns that B&Q have got coming up over the next 6 months. And we have been given exclusive early access to pitch in for these before anybody else has the opportunity or knows what's going on. So that is a little bit of a peek of what's going to be going on today. I'm taking the full team down with me, again, so that creators can put faces to the names of the new starters and everybody just to get to know each other a little bit better. So yeah, we are down in London for that today. We've got a really cool venue. We are going to be on a narrowboat. We're not one for a conference room or your kind of traditional events venue. You may know we organise a retreat every year, which up until this year we've done on a private island. So why not stick with the water theme? We are off on a boat today. So yeah, today will not be access all areas on the vlog. This is a closed event exclusively for OAC creators, but I will show you what I can when I can.
To meet you all. My name is Lydia and I work at B&Q, so I am the affiliate lead and I work alongside Karina, who's my affiliate specialist. We've also got Roman with us today, who joined the team last week. He's doing a wave down there. Who joined as our exec, so you'll be getting to chat to him a little bit more often as well. So I'm just going to chat through some upcoming trends we're seeing in 26. That's both within kind of the home improvement industry, within your industry, and any kind of, it's got to chat about paint, haven't we? But any kind of key colour palettes that we're seeing coming through. So first things first, we're going to look at kind of industry trends. So the three that I've picked out to chat through more is around AI, micro and niche creators, and creator-led commerce. So
girls, we still doing a bit of a workshop this afternoon.
Yeah.
So the girls have very kindly kind of leaked to us what the campaigns are going to be for next year. So we're going to do a bit of a creative pitching workshop where you can come up with some ideas and be the first to get your ideas into B&Q before anybody else has the opportunity. So have a break, mingle, grab a drink. We'll do that in a bit, and then we'll be doing that.
It's like Dragon's Den, isn't it? Yeah.
I don't even know what day of the week it is. I think it's Wednesday. I am off to an event today that we have co-organised with a skincare brand. We've been doing a variety of different bits of work with them. We've done some content production. We spent a full day and got like 90 days worth of content for them. And then we are currently doing a round of gifting, and then today we've put on an influencer event at the private residence that the owner uses. I don't know where this camera's going. So yeah, we're off to that today. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, great, thanks. We're basically at the stage of our reno where we're like, okay, we need to start choosing things, we need to start picking things. And I was like, wait a sec, I feel like I don't want to just like jump the gun in case there are opportunities to be had. And then I was like, well, you have the knowledge, the contacts, the experience. So I was like, let's just go straight to you. I was like, I don't have time to be like outreaching to a million people trying to find the contacts, etc. And I don't
think we
also
can
know
get you
even
some good results
or
with
how I'd be positioning myself.
The majority of our creators are in the home space, so we've got a lot of contacts, but also if we don't have the contacts, we will go out and find them and pitch you forward for, you know, whatever it is that you're looking at. So it might be that you look and be like, oh, actually, I really like this bathroom from Roper Roads. Could we discuss and see if there's an opportunity there? We would reach out on your behalf, agree the deliverables, timelines and all of that sort of stuff, and just kind of help you through it basically in that respect. If there were any other areas that you wanted help with, obviously we're open to discussing it and having a chat about it, but I think initially like the home area, it seems untapped for you, something that we can really help with and just take the pressure off your plate with pitching for it all and obviously project managing it down the other side once the work's come in and seeing exactly, you know, what they want and sort of timelines and things. Typically how we price is that we will price Instagram first. Mm-hmm. So we'll go in and agree a rate for the reel, etc. And then we will try and upsell secondary platforms. So to also be featured on YouTube would be an extra X amount. To also be featured on TikTok would be this amount. Most of the homeware brands are Instagram first in terms of their strategy and where they allocate their spend. But sometimes they're happy to kind of agree an additional fee for kind of a packaged collaboration where it's reposted across TikTok and also a feature within a YouTube video and that sort of stuff. The budgets coming through for home content at the moment are really, really healthy.
Okay, cool.
They want creative stuff. They want content that they know is going to get the reach, which, you know, isn't going to be an issue with your account. In terms of linking product and things like that on your stories, how much of that do you do at the moment where you're tracking link clicks?
So I've literally just on the plane back last night set up my all my clothes because I get so many requests for clothes, and recently I've had a few campaigns come in that are like, we need your link clicks, blah blah blah. So I was like, that's a good way to like set some benchmarks for engagement.
Examples where brands have come back to us and be like, oh, the link click data is a little bit lower than we would want it to be. We've then gone in and said, here's their Amazon affiliate, their conversion rate's 12% and it's got it over the line. So just having those little things in your back pocket for us as well.
Okay, that's really helpful. I've been really bad at selling, so I need to.
It's changing that mindset, isn't it? Like up until this point, you've not needed to, but to open up this next door of additional opportunities, having that data is really useful to have. I have been a terrible vlogger this week, but yeah, I've just found this week really overwhelming. I still don't feel 100%, and I know it's because I haven't taken time to recover and recoup, and people don't share this side of stuff, do they? But I haven't looked after myself the last week, and I can't run a podcast called Unfiltered Influence if I don't give you all of the unfiltered shit that comes with it, and this week hasn't been my favourite week. I just feel overwhelmed and a bit more overwhelmed. I don't even know what other word to use for it other than overwhelmed, because that's how I feel. I don't like weeks like this. I don't feel like myself. I give 100% to everything that is for other people, but the things that are like for me and for even maybe the team in-house, I don't fire on 100% during these weeks. And I'm really hoping next week is going to be a week where I can step out of the business, look at everything from the outside looking in, and really kind of pull apart what's made me feel like this week, and what we can do over the next couple of weeks, months, in terms of new staff that have come on board, new responsibilities, new roles, new positions, and how I can better balance it for myself, because I feel like I try and do everything for everybody else and get it all perfect for them, but then it's me that takes the brunt of the repercussions. That's how I feel today. So next week, me and Caitlin are going to Spain on a workation, and everyone that I tell, they're like, oh, how lovely, that's so nice for you, holidays with work. And yes, don't get me wrong, it's amazing that we have the opportunity to do stuff like this, and we're going to Spain for a week, but I work really bloody hard on these weeks because I take them as a time to step out of the day-to-day, lose all of my kind of normal responsibilities of being at home, looking after the dogs, all of that sort of stuff, so I can just fully 100% immerse myself in the business. And I have to remove myself from the day-to-day to be able to do that, so I find them quite intense and exhausting, but I get so much from doing them. The plan for us for next week is to focus on kind of the operations, the changes that have come into the business over the last couple of months, because we have significantly grown the team. There are 4 new starter positions. 3 of those positions are brand new to the business and haven't been worked in before, so we're building out all of the workflows, the processes, the job descriptions, what the day-to-day and the structure of the week looks like. And whilst we need them, and I'm so excited for them to join, that's why I'm overwhelmed. I know it is, and I know that's what's going on, because I'm trying to do all of the other bits in the business that I do on a day-to-day, and those bits are extra to what I would usually take on in terms of commitments, but obviously need doing to lighten the load on me in the future. So there's a brain dump for you. So yeah, I don't know whether that made any sense whatsoever, everything that I've just brain dumped there, but that is the live real-time thoughts of what's going on in my brain at the moment. I'm on my way now to go for lunch with a friend of mine, the husband of one of my influencers, and we're just going to go and chat through all of the business, finances and wild ideas that we have, because we tend to do that together. It's always been that way. When I first thought about buying my first house, it was him that I went to get advice on whether we thought I could afford a mortgage and what the best options were, and I don't know, there's just always been that friend that we figure shit out like this together. So that's where I'm off to now for lunch. I'm supposed to be there in 2 minutes, so I'm about 5 minutes away. Story of my life. But yeah, I'm going to do that. So I have just finished lunch, and I'm finished a little bit earlier than I thought we would, which is nice. I think it's important to share weeks like this where you just don't quite feel 100%, and like, it is overwhelming. I pay 7 people's salaries every month, and that's a big responsibility on me, and that does sit on me quite heavily. It's not something that I take lightly or enter into without feeling confident about it, but I still have wobbles. I think it's a bit of imposter syndrome that is playing catch up with me, and over the next couple of weeks, and once I've paid it out for a few months, I'll feel a little bit more comfortable with it. But yeah, I think it's important to share this stuff that not everybody speaks about. I opened a new business last night because I have recently been getting more and more collaboration requests. I'm doing a bit of consulting work, which is only me in the business. Like, there's no team behind me supporting that sort of stuff. So the advice that I've had is to look at splitting that out and having my work and the things that only entail me through one business, collaboration, income, consulting, that sort of stuff, will go through one business. And then anything that is like the team and OAC as a business rather than Charlie will carry on going through the existing business. Couple of reasons for that, really. I don't know what my end point is with the business. I certainly didn't start it with a view to sell it, but that is obviously always an option further down the line. And the more and more people that I speak to, they're like, you should always be ready for that in case it comes along and it's a decision that you want to take. We would like children at some point in the future, so who knows what would happen further down the line, and having my stuff separate to the business is a good decision if looking at selling is something that is in the future. As I say, it's not on my radar. It's not something that I started the business up for, to do something like that, but there is obviously always the option of it. And then another idea kind of came from listening to, there's somebody in the car next to me and I didn't realise, and now they're seeing me record. And I record in the car because nobody sees me doing it. And now I feel awkward and I forgot what I was saying. Look who's finally got a stand. So this thing doesn't keep falling off every time I try and film. It works for my phone. What I need to work out is how to attach my DJI. And I've bought this little contraption, which I hoped would magnetise onto there, which I think it might work, guys. I'm going to try and figure this out. I know this is the riveting content that you guys are here to see. Oh, I just don't think that's going to be strong enough. I think it's going to pop off. I don't think, because it's a fabric, there's enough grip on there. I can hear it unsticking. I can literally see it unpeeling. And there it goes. Marvellous. Great start. We think that's going to be strong enough. We are about to find out. It is Kezia's first day today. Woohoo! I have been so excited for her to start, and it's felt like a really long time coming, because we offered her the job, I think 6 weeks ago. It might even have been 7, but because I've been here, there and everywhere, it's not fair for me to have somebody start that's going to be working so closely with me and me not be there. So we are kicking things off today. It's the middle of October now. I have been prepping for what feels like weeks with notes and handovers and preferences, and I feel like this is going to be a really big role to fill, because it has to be, it's not like onboarding a new client where we learn their way, or maybe they don't have a way and we build it for them. I have my way, I have my processes, and I have my style, and somebody's got to come in and continue from that without it feeling like a drastic change. So my plan is to document everything, including all of Kezia's training, so that you can see exactly how I train a personal brand exec, which is a very, very new role to the industry. When I was hiring for this position, it wasn't that there was the pick of people who've got relevant experience that have already been doing this. This is a brand new role that only a handful of businesses have. I know Ben Francis at Gymshark has a personal brand manager. I think it was PayPal that I saw were hiring a personal brand manager for the CEO. I think you could probably class Sophie's role at Odd Muse, although she has just left, as a similar position where she kind of follows Amy around, helps on Amy's content. But on the whole, there are not your average day-to-day positions in businesses that fulfill this role, this job description, responsibilities, etc. So we are building it from scratch, and I'm really excited to get my teeth into it. It's gonna hopefully level us up massively in the terms of the content that we put out there, because so many amazing things happen at OAC that you guys don't get to see. So this is me saying, throw the doors open, access all areas, see exactly what happens behind the scenes. it's part of the reason for this vlog. It's something I've wanted to do for a long time, and I think I've mentioned before, but my content preference has changed. I used to mainly consume short form content, but I have noticed a massive shift in my kind of content consumption in terms of the fact that I don't know, I don't get that much from short form content anymore, because everything is curated in a way that is designed for the algorithm, and your hook's got to be strong, and there's so much clickbaity style content out there these days that just, I don't know, it doesn't light me up in the same way anymore. So I switched to consuming long form content, and it makes sense if that's what I'm consuming, that's what I produce. So this is going to be a learning as I go. We don't offer it to any clients because it's not a platform we're familiar with. It's not something that we've done before. It's going to be messy, it's going to be scrappy, it's going to be throw it at a wall and see what sticks and see what works. It's going to be a slow burn, I know it is, but I'm really excited to open the doors a little bit more for those that want to see. I'm not expecting this to be a massive thing for us, or even like a monetization opportunity. I know it has the potential to be, but that's not really why I'm doing it. It's more, I would love to have looked back on this time last year and see exactly what we were doing, the types of things we were getting up to, my development looking back, because I know how different I am as a person from this time last year, and I know how varied, let's say, the last 12 months have been, and those highs and lows. And I think actually to be able to look back on some of the time periods after those lows and see that, you know, there is positives that come after it. I'm nearly at the office, so I'm going to cut it there. Kezia's first day, I will try and remember to film bits, and I'll take you along with me as we go. I've set up a shared drive called Charlie's Personal Brand, which me and you will have access to.
Yeah.
And this is where I've started to dump stuff into. The biggest thing is this weekly content schedule, which I have put me, OAC Marketing, OAC Talent, and then Unfiltered Influence about what's going to go on what channel, on what days. There's so much that we can do with our own socials and share about the wins that we just don't do at the moment. Yeah. So bringing that in. Monthly performance reporting. Podcast and guest planning. At the moment, because the podcast has been a bit of like an experimentation thing for us, we did one guest at the start. It was a very good episode in terms of viewers and like downloads off the back of it and stuff like that, but we've not put guests on it since, so I would like to start bringing guests on to talk to them. Planning, you know, the episodes. You'll probably hear me talk about things in my content that we touch on briefly that we can go into more depth in the podcast. The big chunky tripods are what we will film on 9 out of 10 times. They're sturdy, they're stable, they're better for filming for like a prolonged shoot. This then goes into the bottom of the camera. You can just unhook the clip and clip it on. Small adjustments then you can do in the neck, because it will automatically calibrate the phone. The purpose of this is when this snaps, it's a real spike on any audio on a camera. So as you're syncing 3 clips together, that is really easy for a computer to pick up and to detect the point where the sound is synced. Good morning. We are off to deliver 2 days of strategy and kind of onboarding discovery work for a group of companies based in Tamworth. We're going to be supporting them on a bit of like a consultancy basis with their socials, because they effectively own many businesses and are running many channels. But yeah, we are off there today. I am starting today off with kind of really understanding what the brands are, what they're looking to achieve, where they find their struggles, because I think my group of attendees will all have different experience and knowledge levels, so it's kind of a bit of foundation setting for me today. Get a bit of an understanding of what they're doing already, what's working, what's not, where they're struggling, and then it will be a case of figuring out exactly what goes into tomorrow's session once today is over and done with. So yeah, today and tomorrow will be a little bit different to what I usually do, Usually if I did something like this, it would be kind of onboarding one client and, you know, really getting into the nitty gritty of the business. But because I think there's 5 different businesses attending today, it's a case of kind of figuring out as much as I can about all of them and how I can make the session tomorrow as interactive, useful and educational as possible. So I will see what we can film during that. Kezia is coming with me, so I've got behind the scenes content all day today. It will also be really useful for her because it's a bit of training for her on what I do, how I think, how I teach brands. So there should be some good content that comes off the back of today and tomorrow. It's in a industry that I am fairly familiar with. Obviously I started my Instagram account as a home account, doing like all of the work. I always say renovations, but you don't really renovate a new build home, do you? But doing up our new build home, basically making it so it didn't feel like a new build home with 4 white walls. And the brands that I'm working with today are all brands that potentially I would have collaborated back in the day. We've got a decking company, we've got wall panels, I think we've got windows and doors, plastic products, so that's more like fascias, soffits, gutters, stuff like that, so more my partner's realm actually rather than mine. But yeah, not an industry that I am unfamiliar with, and I've done quite a lot of work in this space before, so I am looking forward to it. I've got 2 sides to the business. This side that I'm doing with you guys today, which is kind of brand-led, personal brand, where we help you do the work. And then the flip side of the business is we look after 27 influencers and manage all of their brand collaborations, PR activations, podcast features, all of that sort of stuff. Work that we aim for is that people can recognise you within 3 seconds without seeing your logo. So I've got a few brands here and I want to see if you can work out who each one is. 3.
Specsavers. IKEA.
Yeah. My partner struggled with this one.
KFC, isn't it?
Oh, Baby Bow.
Yeah.
And that's so good now you say it, yeah.
So instantly there's 10 brands whose logos aren't on the pages that you've been able to work out
Colours, isn't it?
exactly who it is. It could be tone of voice, Aldi, Ryanair. Marks and Spencers to a certain degree have a very distinctive tone of voice. You really know their approach to doing things. It can be things like opening lines, it can be visual hooks, fonts, the energy, how you show up, your visual style. It could be quirks that come with the brand. Colours, closing phrases, all of these are sorts of things that I would be actively considering in all of your posts about what's going to make you recognisable and unique to your industry and makes you really stand out. So everything that we've done this morning, looking at who your ideal customer is, who you're talking to, the messages that you want to get across, what you want to be known for, is it recognisable? Just sit and go back through your last 9 recent posts and audit yourself. Would they know it's you? Where have you been inconsistent and where can this be improved? Good morning. It's been a very, very early start for me today. I needed to do a couple of hours of work before we head back off to Tamworth for day 2 of this strategy work that we're doing with our client. But when you're delivering and speaking to people all day, my brain just can't. What I was saying was, if this is going to stand up, my brain cannot switch between delivery and being 100% focused on like my room of guests and attendees and whatever to like quickly checking or responding to something in the gaps and in the break. So I came back yesterday to hundreds of messages from the team, clients, potential clients. So I did an hour last night, but I went out with my friends last night to go and have some food, which was utterly delicious. There's a new like Italian tapas is the best way to explain it that has opened by us. So it's like little portions of pasta, arancini balls, prawns. It was great. So I went there last night, but we always get into having a really good natter. It's never an early night. and I didn't get as much done as I wanted to yesterday. This is the messiest makeup I've ever done, but I'm rushing now because I haven't given myself as much time as I would like. We have just put a call in the diary for tomorrow morning with all of our creators, just to have a bit of a moan about, not me moaning at them, the state of the algorithm and the apps and stuff. It is a little bit soul destroying for everybody at the moment. It always happens at this time of year, and when you're in it, you can't see that. It's really difficult. But this time of year, every year, the apps decide to do a big shake-up. They obviously all want as many users on the app as possible over the festive period. It's where the majority of brands spend the chunk of their budget. And also just content in general increases massively over that time of year. Like the competition for your posts is massively increased. So it does happen, but when you're like, it happens every year, but when you're in the thick of it and you're posting content, and it's so easy to just put the blame on yourself. And, you know, most of the time, if somebody asks me, why is my content not performing? I would say, you can't blame the algorithm. Like, you've got to look at how you can improve, what you can do differently, how you can keep up. But at this time of year, it really is a case of knowing that everything is just so much more competitive. There is so much more content out there. The algorithms always do a weird update at this time of year, and everything changes from what you know works. And it's just a case of reminding yourself of that, not getting bogged down in the woe is me, like blame areas, but also looking at what you can do to optimize and keep up, experiment, stay consistent, and try not to get bogged down in the change that is this time of year. So the call that we've booked is just a bit of a moan call for everybody, just to get it out of their system, for everybody to kind of say what's frustrating them at the moment. We've already seen in our group chat that some creators have said, you know, oh, actually, this is working really well for me instead of doing this at the moment. So it's that kind of knowledge exchange. They are all posting a huge amount of content, and, you know, all trying to achieve similar things, and having that community of people where you can share that is really valuable. So that's going to be tomorrow morning. Tomorrow I am actually doing 2 content shoots. Didn't I say that I wasn't going to run myself into the ground this October, November? I can feel it happening a little bit, so I'm very aware of that. But I have got a content shoot with a new client who I'm actually really excited to spend the day with. She is a financial wealth planner for females in business, and basically looks at, that's what I'm looking for, basically looks at like your freedom figure. So start building as young as you can. I could have had another 10 years on me if I knew about this sort of stuff sooner, and they taught you this in schools, but alas, they don't. And it's basically about how you can look to invest now to give you more financial freedom and flexibility in your future. So she obviously has a huge amount of knowledge that she wants to share on social media, and I'm going to sit there and interview her and get all the information for me. So that is a win-win. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm tired this morning. Day 2. Let's go. Every social media platform is moving closer to becoming more of a search engine functionality, but it's a computer at the end of the day that is reviewing your content and deciding whether you should place under these words. So we will carry out an exercise to do a bit of keyword planning when we're writing captions. And the first thing that we'll do is we will type in a keyword like renovation, and we will see what the pre-populated options are that come beneath it. We then try and build these into our captions. It could be our on-screen text in our carousels, anything like that. All the algorithm can understand is the data you feed into it. It can't hear, it can only read text. So if you are talking about it in a voiceover, the algorithm can't understand it. It's not going to place you based on it. All it can read is the information that you input. Now, if you are editing everything in Canva and then exporting it with all the text into Instagram or into TikTok, that won't pick up and register this text on that content. So you've got to be adding as much text and information in-app as you possibly can. your captions are obviously, as in your copy that goes beneath your posts, is the most obvious. But even if you've got beautifully written content with, you know, your branded text and stuff that you've done in Canva, a little trick that we use is that we will type it back out again in app, and we will shrink it to a size that you can't see, so that it's still there for the algorithm to understand, but you can't see it. You're still using your kind of Canva generated graphic. These trends you can apply in so many different ways. It's I think the most enjoyable, fun, easy style of content to create that balances out all of that like heavy promotional content then as well. Good morning. We have made it to Thursday. Today is my last working day this week, and it feels like a Friday. I have Friday energy today, and I need that Friday energy to get me through, because I have 2 content shoots today. So I am on my way now into the centre of Birmingham to work from a studio for the majority of today. I am working with a financial wealth planner, I think would be the right title. I'll clarify that after today once I've learned a little bit more about what she does. But I'm really interested about today. Obviously, love doing a content shoot, but love it even more when I can learn something whilst I'm there. So I am genuinely really excited for today. We are then, so we usually shoot 10 till 4. I'll try and take you behind the scenes so that you can see kind of what a content shoot with us looks like, how we format it, how we manage to get 90 days of content from one day of filming content. I also need to do this for myself. So I'm going to book one in with Kezia so that we can do one together, to get me on top of my content rather than us kind of working week to week at the moment like we are. And then at 4 o'clock we will wrap up, and the girls will go home for the day, and I am off to the NEC to film with Russell in between his kind of sound check. I think he's filming at the National Farming Awards or something tonight. Not filming, performing at the National Farming Awards tonight. So he will be on stage from 9:15. So I'm going to try and jump in on the window of like 4:30 till, let's say, 8:30 to get a few hours of content banked, because his schedule is incredibly busy at this time of year, and getting an actual shoot day booked in is challenging. So we make the most of bits of time as and when we can. So that is going to be this evening. And then tomorrow I have booked a couple of calls in the morning. I am supposed to be on annual leave, but shh, don't tell anyone. And then we're off to the spa, and honestly I can't wait. I've crooked my neck this week because I think I've just been tossing and turning in the nights. I have a really overactive brain, and when I'm in busy weeks like this, as soon as I lie down at night, it's like the first time I've stopped all day, and my brain just comes to life with ideas, reminding me of things that I need to do, things that I should have already done, the classic to-do list. And then I've just not fallen asleep very quickly for the last few weeks, and then I've had a bit of a word with myself this week, and I think I'm going to try and make a conscious decision to limit my kind of days out of the office, events, shoots, etc. for November. I could really just do with a month of being in the office, catching up with stuff, spending time with the team, you know, team training, that sort of stuff. So I am actually going to sit whilst I'm on this shoot today, during like the filming windows when I'm not needed, to actually sit and look at my calendar for November and see what I can take out, which feels a little bit counterintuitive, doesn't it, to be taking things out of your diary and cancelling stuff. But if I don't do it, I know I'm going to be in that kind of burnout territory that I was in at the end of last November. I'm also very conscious that I'm not around much in December. We've booked a trip to New York, which I'm so excited about. When I say this has been like my childhood dream, I've booked it 3 times and never been there for various reasons that I won't go into. But we're finally doing it. So I'm going to be out of the country the middle of December. And then we break up early for Christmas. So yeah, November I need to make a conscious decision to be around more and look after myself. So I'm saying this to you guys because I will hopefully remain accountable for that. Oh my goodness, I forgot to say, so I got an email yesterday whilst we were delivering the second day of training to say that I was selected for the Hero 100 list. That is split down into 2 halves for affiliates and creators, and I am in the top 50 people who are making a positive impact on the creator economy and recognised for their achievements, which is like, it blows my mind, and I'm so grateful for everybody who voted, because this was a community vote award. Is it an award? I don't know. It was a community vote anyway, so your kind of like online credentials are not enough to get you onto this list. It's your community who vote and back you, so thank you if you voted for me. I am very, very grateful. I will take you along today, show you what we get up to. Who knows, you guys might learn something too from today. Yeah, welcome to another chaotic day in the life of me. I'm on a shoot today, so I've just stepped out and I'm sat in a corridor by a lift, so I'm hoping A, the Wi-Fi lasts, and B, I don't get moved on, because that's going to be a bit awkward. Obviously lots of chat and conversation in the last couple of weeks around the algorithm and stuff, and I know it's getting us all down, but I just think that there are so many of you who are, like, we see your stats, we know, you know, who's struggling a little bit at the moment, but equally there are some of you who are doing incredibly well at the moment, and I think there's a lot of support and knowledge that you guys can share with each other. Unfortunately, the algorithm is always going to change, and it's one of those things that is unfortunately inevitable, and it won't be the last time it happens, so try not to let it sit on you too deeply. Like, this is beyond your control, and it's not something that you have the ability to control or change, so don't take it personally. Like, I know how hard it is when your content dips and you feel like it's all on you completely, but it's not, because it's something that is beyond your control and you can't help that. So I think the important thing to remember is the algorithm is a computer. It's not somebody who's been, you know, personally subjective around your content or anything like that. And there are so many external factors that play into why content does well and why it doesn't. And sometimes it is just a case of it just didn't do very well because the algorithm didn't push it out in the right way. And it's things that are beyond our control. You know, equally, you know, there are people who are still growing at the moment, but everybody's stats are down across the board. So it's all relative to your account, the size of your account, the content that you're posting. But actually, when we look at the industry as an entirety, it's down. Like, it's not just you. There are people and accounts that are still growing. There are also accounts that have sat in a stagnant period for an extended period of time, and that's okay. Like, brands actually don't look at your growth very often. They're not too worried about that, and because you're experiencing this dip, so are they. So our expectations that we put on ourselves are often so much higher than what the brands expect of us as well. I'm going to have to dip off in a couple of minutes, but I will leave you guys on here. But the one thing I will leave you with before I go is just to consider diversifying your accounts at this point. If you're feeling really rocked and wobbled by how volatile and unpredictable Instagram is at the moment, think about using this time where things are a little bit off to create more TikTok first content, or Beth's launched a YouTube channel this week, that sort of stuff. If you're reliant on Instagram for everything and all your eggs are in one basket, I completely understand why you feel even more rocked during times like this. But just think, if Instagram did go down, would you still have a way to reach your audience? Could they find you through TikTok? Could they find you through YouTube? Do you have an email marketing list where you've got their data and you can communicate with them in that way? Just think about that kind of like diversification point and how you can steady your income across multiple platforms so that you're not so reliant and rocked when something like this happens. Because unfortunately, the only thing that is certain throughout all of this is future change. We're always going to be served new algorithms. They're always going to keep updating. So how can you spread yourself across a little bit more so that when one platform changes, you're not as heavily impacted by it? Drop me a message. My inbox is always open if anybody needs anything. And I'll leave you with the other girls and I'll get back to this shoot now. So I'll catch you all later, okay? Maybe the hook is, would you rather have financial freedom or would you rather retire early? I think this is a piece of content. And then we can go on to say, financial freedom is how you want everybody to view their future retirement.
Yeah.
And say it that way. So let's start with that and like be like, would you rather have financial freedom or would you rather retire early? And then lead into what you just said to me.
Okay. There.
Either or.
So would you rather retire early or have financial freedom?
So maybe we ask a question that is more thought-provoking and say, do you know the figure that would enable you to retire?
Yeah.
Like asking that question, I don't quite know how you would word it, but
yeah. So no, that's essentially it. Yeah. So your financial freedom figure, your retirement figure. Do you know how much money you need in your pot to be able to retire?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you know how much money you would need in your retirement fund to be able to retire?
Yeah, so I think it's important just to highlight that yes, you can do it yourself, but like the value in having a financial advisor as opposed to just, I get that that's not really like amazingly interesting content, but I almost just feel like I want to have, it's almost like an FAQ because it's something that we get all the time.
Shall I ask the question on mic to say, well, can't I just manage my pension myself?
Yeah.
And then you could go in and give some advice.
Yeah.
So can't I just manage my pension myself?
Yeah, I mean, of course you could if you wanted to, and many people do. But I suppose what I would say is that it's similar to, you could build your own house. You could get somebody to do your books for you. You could get somebody to run your social media accounts. But when it comes to particularly perhaps women who are really busy with families, people who are running businesses, a lot of the time they just don't have the time, they don't have the knowledge, and frankly they just don't want to, and that's completely fine. So yeah, absolutely, you can go and DIY pretty much everything that I do, but the question is that valuable to you in the sense of, would you rather somebody like me do it for you, or would you rather go and sit and do all the learning that I've had to do in order to be able to do this job? And 9 times out of 10 people would rather know that it's handed off to someone else who's dealing with it for them, and that's the benefit of having a financial advisor.
I think using a mortgage advisor is the most relatable thing that is like a similar point for you.
That's true, actually.
Yeah, rather than like building your own house. So I would say something along the lines of that as a society, we wouldn't dream, or most of us wouldn't dream of trying to negotiate our mortgage rate by ourselves. We naturally go to a mortgage advisor or a mortgage broker who will negotiate the best deal for us. You want to get people in the same mindset with their pension. Yes, you could go and do it by yourself, but you're going to end up much better off in the long run if you rely on the advice or allow. I think you've got to split the options then, that you can get the advice and then go and do it yourself, or allow somebody to manage it for you, but don't try and do it by yourself because you won't end up with the best rate in the long run.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you the question again, and I think go straight in with the mortgage advisor analogy. Or you could even come back to me and say, can I ask you a question there? When you bought your house, did you use a mortgage advisor? And I'll be like, yeah.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. Probably number one is that you have to be rich to have a financial advisor. It's absolutely not the case. Level, the snowball is gaining momentum and the interest is compounding without you having to do that much. And then once you get to...
Right, we are 1 shoot down, 1 to go. I have loved today. It's been so much fun. I have learnt loads. My action from today is go home and sort my pension out. I'm actually going to book in a session in with Sarah, I think, to get her to sort all of that sort of stuff out for me, because I feel like I've just got my head around business finances and VAT and tax and, I don't know, personal tax, corporation tax, all of that shite that no one teaches you when you start a business. So then to look at personal finances on top of that, I don't think my brain has got the capacity or willingness to learn that right now. So I think I am just gonna rely on a professional to advise me on it. So the stuff you were saying today was really, really interesting. So we spoke a lot in content around how, like, when you buy a house, you would instruct a mortgage advisor because you want to get the best rate possible. Well, obviously with your finances, you want to make the most of every single penny that you're earning to the absolute max ability to do that. Why then don't we instruct a financial planner or a financial advisor to do the same for our personal finances and help us plan for the future? Because none of us want to be working a day longer than we have to. So why aren't we planning for it earlier? And one of the exercises that she kind of demonstrated through content was the importance of setting aside money for your pension as early as possible, and just the difference of what 5 years could make by not paying in was massive. I can't remember the figure, but yeah, really, really interesting. We've got some great content. Done a few different bits today, and have worked with the upgraded kit that we invested in last month. So yeah, I've really enjoyed today. So I'm heading to the NEC now to go and meet Russell. He's on stage tonight at the National Farming Awards or something like that. He's in the thick of corporate season, which is a very, very busy time for him. Just go and film some stuff for Jolt Bolt, who texted me to say, I've got a hotel room as a dressing room, I'm at blah 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 blah, I've put your name on the room, so just ask the hotel staff and they'll give you a key. And I've just thought, I'm going to turn up with a suitcase and ask for a key for Russel Kane's room. What must it look like I am off to do there? I feel like I need to tell the hotel staff when I arrive that it's actually content equipment in my suitcase. But then equally, what does it look like saying that I'm turning up with content filming equipment in a suitcase to go into a hotel room? So maybe I won't say that. Maybe that is one to keep quiet about.
Hello.
Hello.
It's perfect, isn't it? So I can do like a living on the bed shot as well if we want. Obviously, if you're trying to make a baby, you want to be shagging more often. I remember when me and Lindsay were trying for a baby, it became a terrifying game of hide and seek. I've never been so scared of my wife. It's time to go again, Russell. I was behind a curtain. I was blowing out dust by this point, lads. It never stops. So put some mistletoe over your bell end, get some Jolt Bolt in you, and make the best of it. You want to ask a semi-old fucker like me about what I do to not be a semi-old fucker. Let's see if we've got any questions. Do I have ADHD? I don't know. Everyone tells me I have it. But when I went for the ADHD test, the first question was, do you struggle to complete tasks that you find boring? Yes. Who doesn't? How do you keep your complexion so fresh? Well, the first two pillars of Jolt: don't eat shit, move a bit. They are the two things that I live by, so I try to exercise every day.
I am done. I don't even know what the time is. It's 8 o'clock. What a day. What a day. I am so glad to have a bit of a day off tomorrow. I am going to go into the office and we've bought some new furniture. So we're going to go and build that. So I don't really have a day off tomorrow, do I? So me and Caitlin are going to move upstairs because the downstairs office is busy and quite frankly there's no desk space. I never use my home office anymore, so I'm going to take my desk from my home office. I've bought a second one for Caitlin and we are going to sit upstairs. But there is no time to do it in a usual working day. So the office is shut on Fridays. Nobody works from the office on a Friday usually. So we're going to go in tomorrow, build furniture and have a really good sort out, because honestly we've got massive storage cupboards upstairs in like the eaves of the building and it's full of shite. All my like rejected Christmas decorations live up there. There's just shite everywhere. So I'm gonna have a sort out tomorrow, which it's not work, is it? It is work, but it's not work. And then I am leaving here at 3 o'clock, and we're going for a spa weekend with my 2 best friends, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I am in desperate need of a back, neck, shoulder, everything massage. My neck is fucked from this week. I don't know what I've been doing in my sleep, but it's ruined. So we're going to Hawcross Hall. We've booked a spa weekend package, overnight meals, got early access to the spa tomorrow night, and I am going to have the time of my flipping life in the spa, and I can't wait. And I've just been and picked up a Chinese, because if you think I'm cooking at this time of night, you are wrong. David's going straight back out to football, so I've got the telly to myself, I've got the house to myself, I'm putting my pyjamas on, and I'm switching off for the evening. So, over and out.